everybody. Welcome to Tea Time. That's right. It's Monday night. It's November 16th, the middle of the month. And I want to say hello to everybody for tuning in. I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick and then get to my special guest. So Friday, what I did Friday morning, I wake up every morning and I go thrifting to the church up the block and I see my girls and I say hello. And they had some wonderful things this past Friday because you never know what you're going to find when you thrift. And then Saturday, I actually filmed an indie movie with a good friend of mine here on Long Island, and it was a lot of fun. I worked with a girl named Sasha, who I met for the first time, and she was great. You know, and you're there for hours doing the same scene, and we had a blast. So I have a few more scenes to film. Actually, this Friday, I'm supposed to be filming in Massapequa somewhere. Can't disclose the location. Saturday night, you know, there's not too much to do or go places now that things are closing in New York at 10 p.m. So I stayed in, made some popcorn, cuddled up on the couch, and I watched the movie The Family with Robert De Niro and who else was in that? Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer. And my friend who I had on last week, Paul Borghese. And it's a great movie. I saw it on Netflix. If you didn't see it, watch it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Sunday yesterday was Jen Lantini's baby pussycat shower because she just got a new kitten, a boy named Mickey, and we decided to throw her a kitty shower at Coasters from like 2 to 4. And it was a lot of fun. There were like kitty cupcakes and there was a lot of Prosecco and like, you know, picky food. And then we decided to stay a little bit for football. The Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing and there were a lot of fans there. And we had a good time. We had a really good time. So before I get to my guest, I want to say a special happy birthday to my friend, Dwight Doc Gooden. Today is his 56th birthday. I texted him before, wishing him a happy birthday and told him to enjoy his day. So a very happy and healthy birthday, Doc. Thank you for being my friend and always there for me. I love you so much. And want to also say Rescuing Families. Rescuing Families is having another fundraiser this Saturday and Sunday in Franklin Square. I will be there to support Gina and her husband, Vinny. It's a nonprofit organization which helps disabled people and they renovate homes. So look, I want to get to my guest and then we'll get back to my announcements later. So okay, I'm so excited because he's a good friend of mine and I know a little bit about him, a lot about him, and then some things I don't know about him. So Bobby is a comedian, he's a coach, he's an entrepreneur. So please welcome everybody, Bobby Inzarello. Hi, Bobby.
Hey, Teresa, so good to be on Tea Time with Teresa. This has been a long...
It's been long overdue, but life's all about timing, and tonight is the time.
Time coming. This has been a long time coming. Time. And the bottom line here tonight, and all the times that we've had, you were on the show that we do.
Yeah.
And all the other things. I mean, we've had a lot of laughs, and I'm looking forward to this tonight. So thanks for having me on.
I'm so happy to call you a friend, and we've been through a lot in the last 2 years together. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. You're a Long Island boy, right? You're originally from Valley Stream.
Always. Well, I've always been from Valley Stream. I was born, and I still live in Valley Stream. I did 13 years in Elmont. That's it.
Yeah, you in Elmont. So you went to Valley Stream North High School?
Absolutely.
Class of 1980?
Shh. Ooh, we're bringing up my year. 1980 something.
And then you went to Nassau Community College? What did you study?
Yes. I went on the 20-year program over there. I started in 1980, and in the year 2000, I just gave up. I'm still like 4 credits away from graduating.
That's it?
From Nassau, because I didn't want to take lab science. So I didn't want to go to the lab. So that's all I really had to do was take one more class, and I never did it.
I wouldn't want to.
I used to go to night school. I used to take night classes, which I liked because you could sleep all day or work and then go to the night classes at Nassau, and there's plenty of parking at night. I
Yes.
hate looking for parking spaces. So I took night classes so I didn't have to worry about that crap.
So what were you studying at Nassau?
I didn't study anything. I went there. I drank at McKeeb's Depot. I went to the Runway Tavern. And back in the day, I went to the Salty Dog. But I don't remember studying anything. My favorite classes were public speaking. I liked those, and I used to wing it, which I wing everything. So it was no surprise that I'd wing it.
Well, you're very good at improv, so it makes total sense. So, okay, so the bottom line is, so from like 1980 to 83, you know, you're doing your own thing. And then in 1983, you started working at a bar called Nook and Cranny, which I find very funny because you love Thomas's English muffins.
Well,
love.
It's funny that it's happened that way. And I eat everything I eat, any sandwich I eat, anything I put on an English muffin. Back in the day, I started eating hamburgers on English muffins. And it goes back to a place called the International Delight Cafe in Rockville Center. They used to have what they called a London burger, and they put their hamburgers on an English muffin. So I had to keep going there. I would go there anytime I wanted a burger because they were the only ones who put it on an English muffin. Right. So I do it. And when I had my menu at my bar, I had a burger on an English muffin.
Yes.
That was our burgers were served on English muffins.
That was your signature thing. It was an English muffin. So you're working at the Nook and Cranny. You're liking the bar scene. And then in 1986, you decide to open your own bar called Inns 41 Sports Cafe. And that was in Franklin Square. Right
down the road from the Nook and Cranny, really.
Right.
And right now it's where Ralph's Italian Ices is on Franklin Avenue in Franklin Square. But yeah, I started there in 1986. So I was like 24, 25 years old.
You were young.
And I owned my own business.
A young entrepreneur, starting your own business.
An entrepreneur, baby.
You were an entrepreneur. Were you
I was an entrepreneur, man. Yes, babe.
Were you like scared to take this chance? Or, I mean, who did you have helping you? Did your parents help you out or
no
partner? Was it all you?
What happened was I was at the Nook and Cranny, and I really liked the owner there, this guy, Bobby Johns. I really liked him, and he kind of mentored me. I'm 21 years old. I'm bartending at the Nook and Cranny, having a really good time. I'm enjoying it, whatever. But in the back of my head all along is like, I want to save enough money to buy a bar.
Wow.
And that's what I set my sights on. And it got to the point in 1986 where I went over to the what was then called Posters Pub in Franklin Square. And the owner was an old lawyer, guy Tony. And I knew he was fed up with the business. So I said to him, are you looking to get out of here? What do you want to do? And he was like, Bob, I really don't know if I'm going to be able to sustain this business over a long period of time. His long-winded answer was annoying me. And I was like, look, who runs this place for you? He goes, I try to hire managers. They come, they go. I was like, listen, I'll run the place for you. I will run the place for you. So I started out just operating the place for him and bartending. So I was doing the scheduling, the bartending and everything. And then after a while, I just looked at him and I said, hey, listen, Tony, do you want to sell this thing or what? And he goes, well, make me an offer. So I made him an offer. I told him I'd give him cash.
Wow.
I handed him whatever cash I had, which was a nice lump sum of cash.
Okay.
And I took it. I took it over right then and there.
And what was it called at the time?
Posters. It was called Posters.
Oh, it was called Posters.
Not coasters. No, Posters.
Posters. And you named it Inns 41. Now, Inns, I know, is part of your last name, Inzarello, but where does the 41 come in?
The 41 was because that's the number I always had. I had a license plate that said Inns 41. And the reason for the 41 my whole life was because of the guy who just passed away recently, Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver was my favorite baseball player of all time. He was the best. He was a great pitcher. He's what made me a Met fan, which I'm sorry for today, but I am. And I loved Tom Seaver, so I always wore number 41.
Right.
And when I had my license plate, because my nickname was Inns and I wanted number 41,
Right.
So when they were like, what do you want to call this place? I said, who cares what we call it? I said, I was going to call it Inzi's.
Okay.
And somebody says to me, oh, that sounds like an old man's bar. Don't call it Inzi's. Sounds like an old man's bar. I was like, all right. So I'm on the phone with the sign guy, this guy, Mike Hansen. And I said, Mike, I want the sign off. I want the sign changed. I said, do me a favor. Just put on it. Make it look like a license plate. Inns 41.
That's it.
And that's what he did. And I made the sign, and that's how the name came.
And you had it from 1986 and you have it every. Oh, look at that! That's so cool. You found an old notepad.
And here's my menu.
Oh my God, that's awesome! It's a whole new ball. I love it. Whole new ball game. You were covering that up. That's so cool. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this was the menu from there.
Wow, that's vintage, baby.
It's vintage. But yeah, so there I was at that age, owning a business, owning the bar. I was bartending a little bit too, and then I owned it. I ran it.
And you had it from 86 to 99.
Yeah.
You had it a long time, and I'm sure you had many laughs and many stories. And
all these stories, okay.
A lot of good times there.
Well, you might recognize these are the three bartenders, right?
Uh-huh. Wow.
See the guy in the middle?
Oh my God, that's great. That's Anthony Graziadei in the middle, and
yes,
the other two. And he was a bartender for you for how long? Was he there from the beginning to the end?
No, he started with me in 1990.
Oh, okay.
And I put up with him for a few years, and he annoyed the piss out of me every fucking day. But we always went at it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm trying to make this the best. I'm trying my best. God damn it. Leave me alone. I used to be like, Graz, you can't go downstairs and smoke weed, okay? I'm sorry. You need to keep your eye on the bar.
Right.
I'll be right back. You run down, you'd be gone for a while, you come back up.
Some things haven't changed much.
Nothing's changed. He's the same. I'll tell you what. I haven't changed much in all these years either. I'm still the same as I was in my 20s, really, I think.
Yeah.
But there's an old expression there is an expression that says if you reach 50 years old and you haven't grown up yet, you don't have to.
Amen.
And I agree with that. And I reached 50 and I haven't grown up yet, so I'm not going to. It's not happening.
I love it. I love it. I love that. I love that thinking. So you had the bar, you're a young entrepreneur. Let's face it, you owned a business at a very, very young age. And, they say that the first year of a business is the hardest year to get through, but it was already an established business. So did you have any hiccups along the way that first year you ran it?
No. As a matter of fact, what happened was when I took over the place, I turned it into a sports bar, which was the common thing in those days to do. And I got giant screen TVs and all that stuff and made it all about sports. I made it from the guy who owned it before me, the lawyer. He wanted it to be one of these places where you had to wear a collared shirt. You had to have no jeans. You had to have a pair of pants, a pair of shoes, no sneakers. I was like, what the hell, man? Why don't we just tell the whole world they're not allowed in here? All right? Because I wanted the working guy in there, the working girl in there, I wanted everybody who was just regular. I didn't care if you came in there with a tank top, a T-shirt, or just a bra. I didn't give a shit. Come in, spend some money. That's all I cared about. Let's have a good time. We're here to watch the game. We're here to have some fun. And that was it. And it was crazy and it was fun. And it really picked up after that. It got really, really busy. I had my entire North High School alumni coming there every night, every single night. It was packed with North High School and the surrounding area, all coming in every night. It was nice
because everyone kind of knew each other. It was
right. And I was smart in a way where I hired bartenders that were from the area, from the school. This guy Steve Rafrano, this other guy Jimmy Buquicchio, Graziadei. I hired them all. They knew everybody in town. Right. So everybody, every different night came in to see them. I had this guy, Shane O'Neill. I had this other guy, Sal Fernari, all North High School guys. I had North. some central, some south, but I had them all. And the odd thing about it was my father in the 70s owned a bar. He did.
Oh, wow.
In North Belmore on Jerusalem Avenue and Newbridge Road. It was called the Circus 70.
That's right by me.
Right. It was called the Circus 70. It later became Tuesday's Lounge. And then it became King Cullen. No, Stop and Shop. They ripped it all down and it's Stop and Shop now.
Yeah.
But he had a bartender by the name of Marge. And Marge worked for him for a while. She came to me when I had this place and she goes, you know, I worked for your father.
Wow.
I was like, I hired her. And my best hire for the daytime was Maria Testaverde. I had Maria Testaverde, who's Vinny's cousin. She was my date. Her and Marge took care of the days and they packed the place. They had people in there all day long. The funny thing about Maria, the Testaverde family, Vinny Testaverde obviously played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jets, and the Cleveland Browns and the Ravens. Yeah. He was a professional quarterback. He won the Heisman Trophy in '86.
Right.
Maria had everybody in Maria's family was either named Maria or Vinny or Joe or Paul. Maria has a cousin Vinny and a brother Vinny.
Yeah.
Maria has a cousin Maria. And it's just like everyone is Maria or Vinny.
It's like in my family, there's a lot of Sals, a lot of Michaels.
Sal.
Yeah, you know.
She had a lot of Joeys. Joe.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, listen, I'm speaking with Bobby Inzarello, who's a comedian. He's a coach. He's an entrepreneur. We just talked about him owning a bar from 1986 to 99 called Inns 41 Sports Cafe in Franklin Square.
Yes, sir.
All right, so listen, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Bobby. We're taking a quick break. Don't go away. We're going to be back in about 30 seconds. Stay there. So where do you want to go tonight?
Are you bored?
Oh my God.
Hold on tight. We're going to Coasters.
Coasters Tavern is located at 487 Newbridge Road in East Meadow. Their number's 516-557-2222.
Well, hi there, Teresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Teresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you joined me tonight. It is Monday night, and I'm with Bobby Inzarello, and he's a comedian, he's a coach, he's an entrepreneur, and he's a really, really good friend of mine, and I'm so glad he could join me tonight. I want to thank John York from General Hospital for that beautiful endorsement that he gave me. He's on General Hospital that I've been watching since high school. And I had his friend Carolyn Hennessy, who plays Diane Miller, on my show. And I'm hoping to get John on one of these days. Also, someone nominated my show, Tea Time, for Best of Long Island Bethpage. I don't know who did, but I want to thank them. But now I have to be like a politician, and I don't discuss religion or politics, as I call it, but I have to ask for your votes. So when you get a chance, please Google Best of Long Island Bethpage and go to Arts and Entertainment, and then go to Podcast, and then go to Tea Time and vote for me. And you can vote every day up until December 15th. It's just an honor to be nominated. But hell, I'd like to win. All right?
They like me. They really like me.
And they like me. They really like me. And I want to give some shout outs before I get back to Bobby. That way we keep a nice flow. But hello, Joan. And hello, Betty Ann. And hello, Kristen Tinsley, my girl. And Grace Guardati Matranga. And Grazade is watching. Graz is watching. And Greg is watching. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is an epic show, isn't it?
Epic.
So, getting back to Bobby. So, Bobby, after you get rid of the bar.
Well, first I got rid of Graz, then I got rid of the bar.
Okay, in that order. And then you.
I won't even get into the pickle bucket stories, but that's another story.
Yeah, we heard it. But in 2000, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, you taught special ed at Summit School in Jamaica Estates. Is that right?
Yes, you really did. You did your research. Wow. Yeah.
How good am I, Bobby? Come on.
Well, the thing was, I was working, when I left the bar, right, I quickly took this job selling, doing phone sales, which is the most horrible thing you could possibly do in your life.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Cold calling people. I hated it. I hated every minute of it. So you're calling people up and you're selling them shit that they don't want, to spend money they don't have or don't want to spend.
Right.
And you're shoving it down their throats to make them buy this shit. And I sat there for a few weeks and I said, I hate this. I freaking hate it.
Right.
So I was sitting there, and the manager of the place comes over to me, and he goes, "You don't like this at all, do you?" I go, "No, I don't. I hate it. I fucking hate it." He goes, "Well, you're not bad at it." He goes, I said, "I just hate it." He goes, "What'd you ever want to do?" I said, "I always wanted to teach." So he goes, I know somebody in a school I worked in that would hire you." I said, "I'm not a certified teacher. I can't go teach." He goes, "You don't need to be. It's a private school. They'll take you."
Wow.
He goes, the director of the school will like you. She'll take you. That's what happened. I went there. I interviewed with her. You know what the first question she asked? One of the first questions she asked me was, this was 2000, right?
2000.
She asked me, she goes, "I bet you're a Republican." I said, "I'm down the toilet already. I'm done." Right? She goes, "Did you vote for George Bush?" "You did, didn't you?" She goes, "You did, didn't you?" I was like, "Well, she goes, you can tell me. You can tell me you did, didn't you?" I said, "All right, I did." She goes, "He should have been in special ed. Do you know that?" She goes, "He has ADD. Do you notice that?" I was like, "Well, so do I." So she goes, "Come in on January 3rd. I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Dress however you want." I was like, "Dress for what?" She goes, "That's going to be your first day."
Wow.
That's what started. So I worked in special ed for 9 years after that.
Holy cannoli, 9 years. And that was in Jamaica Estates. Now, were you living in Elmont while you were working in Jamaica Estates in Queens?
No, I was living where I live now in Valley Stream.
Oh, you are. So when did you live in Elmont?
When I lived in Elmont was 1982 to 1995.
Okay, all right.
My parents split up, sold my house in Valley Stream. North Valley Stream is really where I'm from.
Right.
And my father passed away right after that. I lived in an apartment in Elmont, and then I moved into an apartment in my mom's house. She bought a house in Elmont, and I lived there, and that's where I stayed for a while. But then I bought my house in Valley Stream.
Okay. All right. And in 2000, so you were there from 2000 to 2009. But in 2000, I think in 2000, you started the Valley Stream Hawks Travel Baseball in 2001. You started that. And
yes.
Then the Colts in 2007.
Wow. Yes. Yes. I could not put anything past you.
No, you cannot.
I was the president. I've been coaching.
Wait, I'm going to say you're the president of the oldest youth baseball league in New York, Valley Stream Baseball League. That's
correct. Valley Stream Baseball League was called the Valley Stream Male League. It started in 1943. Wow. The reason it was to be called the Male League is MAIL, was because the newspaper that started it was a Valley Stream newspaper called the Male Leader. And they started the league in 1943 for the kids over here.
Wow.
And I took it over in 2008.
Right. But now, did you get involved in baseball Because your son played, or just because you always wanted to do that?
Well, I was playing on my own bar team.
Okay.
In the 90s, 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I was playing on the Ins 41 baseball, the softball team.
Yeah.
Graz played,
You still have those shirts?
And in 1995, my son turned 5 years old, and that was he was going to start playing T-ball. So I went to the Valley Stream Little League, and I started coaching in 1995.
Right.
And I've been coaching ever since.
Wow.
26 years later, I'm still doing it.
You love it because you love it. Your heart is so in it.
My heart is in it.
I know.
It really is. I love doing it. I've always enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And I went from T-ball in 1995 to travel baseball in 2001, which I started the Hawks.
Right.
And made it travel. And the Hawks thing came about because my father was from Corona.
That's where
He
I'm
passed away. My father passed away young. He was 52. All right. He played for the Corona Hawks. And when I was going to name a team for my organization, I decided because he played for the Hawks that I was going to make it the Hawks. And that's what I did.
That's so sweet. I'm originally from Corona. And then I moved to Bayside when I was 4. But that's a nice homage, to your dad. That's so sweet.
Yes. Well, I'm a big homage guy. I homage everything.
I heard that about you.
Yeah. I can homage the shit out of things,
Oh my God. I heard that about you. And then in 2007, is it the Val Brook Baseball Academy? Am I saying that right?
Yes. I worked the baseball. See, I coached over at Valley Stream Central for 2 years, the JV team. But I was good friends with this guy, Tony Lombardo, and this other guy, Al Marazzo.
Yeah.
And they ran the baseball camp called the Val Brook Baseball Academy. And they liked the way I coached, and they liked the way I was with the kids.
Yeah.
So they hired me to do baseball camps. So I did 4 weeks every summer. Now here I am, I'm working in a school. You're off for the summer. So I had from June to September off.
Wow.
So I would do the camp. I did every week of the camp. I would do it in Lynbrook, Valley Stream. They eventually went to Merrick. I didn't go to Merrick with them, but I did the camps and I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. I did, the camp started at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 in the morning, and it went till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we just did baseball all day long, 5 days a week, all day.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a favorite baseball movie?
The favorite baseball movie, I have 2.
Yeah?
One of them is The Natural.
I have 2 also. Go ahead.
The Natural, I bought for my son Rob, I bought the VCR tape for the movie The Natural in 1991.
Okay.
All right? 1991, I bought that movie, played it for him. He was not even 2 years old. I had him hitting off a tee in the yard like crazy, lefty, hitting off a tee, and I started playing that movie for him. And all he loved was the ending where Roy Hobbs hits the lights and the lights explode and there's all cascading down on the field.
Yeah.
And he played again, play it again. I do it over and over and over again. And my son, from that point on, number 9, he wore number 9, Roy Hobbs' number.
Wow.
And he used to say to my daughter, Christine, "I, Roy Hobbs, you're a monkey." That's what he used to say to her. That's what he used to do. He loved Roy Hobbs.
God.
So and The Field of Dreams is my other.
Okay, mine is Field of Dreams and Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees is a great movie.
Yeah.
That was Gary Cooper.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That is a great movie, and I forget about it sometimes because I haven't really seen it in a while. But that is up there.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Bull Durham is a great movie.
That one too is good, absolutely. And then let's talk about baseball. I grew up as a Met fan, growing up in Bayside, Queens. My dad was a Met fan, so usually you are what your parents are. So I was a Met fan, and Pat Zachary, which I think I mentioned this to you, Pat Zachary lived around the corner from me in Bayside. But you actually worked at Shea, because I don't.
No, I didn't work at Shea.
Well, you worked at Citi Field. right? But I still call it Shea. But you worked at Citi Field from 2009 to 2015. What did you do there?
Guest service supervisor.
And how did
That was another interesting situation that came about. The mayor here at Valley Stream, this guy Ed Fair, is the mayor here still.
Yeah.
We were friends, and as of now, you know I do work for the village here. But all right, he asked me, I was talking to him, and he goes, I'm working at Citi Field. I'm doing guest services. He goes, they're looking for people. Do you want to, you want me to put a word in for you? I said, yeah, definitely. So I go to meet this guy, Greg Marino. I go to Citi Field, and he's one of these real corporate people. Hi, how are you there, Bob? Hey, good to see you. Really nice to meet you. So you like baseball, huh? What do you think you could bring to the table for us here at Citi Field? I'm like, oh, I like baseball. I like people.
Yeah.
You like people? That's really nice, Bob. Very good. Hi. So he hired me. I was like, so now I'm a guest service supervisor. I'm walking around Citi Field with a radio and a name tag that said supervisor and a shirt that said supervisor. And I'm walking around going, what the hell is this job? All I had to do was make sure the ushers were where they were supposed to be.
Okay.
And the ticket takers were where they were supposed to be. And I walk around the ballpark. Just keep walking around the ballpark.
That's a nice gig. That's a pretty good
Great gig.
I
know Citi Field like the back of my hand. It's like I know every spot in that ballpark.
I was only there once.
Best ballpark there is. It's
Only
beautiful.
there once since it became Citi Field. But then you worked before the pandemic hit. You were working at Madison Square Garden.
Yep, security.
And you were doing security, and again, you got to see a lot of, great shows there too.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of Ranger hockey, Knicks basketball. It's very interesting that Knicks basketball is not New Yorkers. It's not. It's international.
Right.
People come from all over to watch Knicks games. I don't know why.
Wow.
They stink. They freaking stink.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Been a while.
But people come from all over the place to go to a Knicks game. But a Ranger game is diehard New York Ranger fans. They
Yes.
love the Rangers. It's really different atmosphere for both teams. I saw St. John's a lot. I saw some concerts. The first concert I actually saw there was Mariah Carey doing a Christmas show.
Wow. So how long were you there? When did you actually start there, and how long were you there?
I only started there. I was only there a year before the whole pandemic thing hit.
Yeah.
Because I left Citi Field and I wanted to go back to Citi Field, but I couldn't with the hours. My job hours now, you have to be at Citi Field at 4 o'clock. That's check-in time at 4 o'clock. I work until 4 o'clock. It was very hard.
It's too early for you. It's too early.
So Garden, I had to be there at 5:20. Call time at security was like you had to be there. You start at 6.
Right.
7 o'clock game, 7:10 game. You have to be there at 6. So it worked out perfect. I get on the train right here at Valley Stream Station, take it to Penn Station. I was there.
Yeah.
I was in Starbucks getting myself a gigantic coffee and walking up the stairs to the Garden.
Yeah.
Or I was going to Rose's Pizza and getting myself a slice of pizza.
Things have changed, but listen, this show hasn't, and I'm so happy to have you on. And now we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bobby about comedy. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
So where do you want to go tonight?
Why don't we go to Coasters?
Oh, cool. I heard it's a great place. Let's check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh my God. is located at 487 Newbridge Road in East Meadow. Their number's 516-557-2222.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. Hey, I just want to remind everybody, if you're not doing anything this Saturday or Sunday, my friends Gina and Vinny from Rescuing Families are having a huge yard sale. It's like 1,800 square feet in their backyard. It's tremendous. And they're a nonprofit organization, and all the money goes to helping people in the community with disabilities. So please, meet me at Franklin Square on Saturday morning. Let's do some shopping and let the money go to the, people who need it. All right. And so I'm back with Bobby Inzarello. For those of you who don't know Bobby, he's a comedian, he's a coach, he's an entrepreneur. And we've been talking about him growing up as a Long Island boy in North Valley Stream, and where he went to school and all his different careers that he has done, from, owning his own bar to teaching special ed and code calling, which no one really likes, and then ending up in Citi Field and then Madison Square Garden. So it's been a really, crazy ride. You never know, where life takes you. But I know that life took you and I. How do you like that segue? Back on October 11th, 2019, it took you and I to the Little Room, where you and I did a show together.
The Lil Room.
Little Room. And it was the first time I saw you do stand-up. And I know you through the show Limo Talk, because I was a guest on that show a lot in 2 years. And but I thoroughly enjoyed your stand-up. It's smart, it's clever.
Did you like my set?
I loved your set. Did you like my set?
I loved your set.
I know you did.
Nice set.
Thank you. You too. And we had a really good time that night. But I want to talk about how you discovered you were funny, and the first time you made people laugh when you were only 7 years old.
Oh.
Can we go back to that story?
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you're growing up like I did, it was like I had to get, I was an attention seeker, I was actually kind of quiet when I was little, but I liked attention. But I found out one day I loved to make people laugh. Back in like second grade, we had the bathroom in the classroom. You had the little bathroom in the classroom. Well, maybe it was first grade, but you had, in those days, like this, I'm at Willow Road School, and a kid went into the bathroom. Miss Hammond, can I go to the bathroom? Yes, kid goes to the bathroom. He was in there. He must have been in there for like 20 minutes. So I was making little wise remarks and shit, and the teacher's going, shh, So finally she goes over to the door and she goes, I have to check to see if he's okay in there. She turns the knob open. Everybody's like in suspense. And when she puts her head in, I yelled out, peekaboo, right? And I got to laugh. A dumb remark, I got to laugh. And from that moment on, I was like Leslie Nielsen on Naked Gun, where he called strike one and they all cheer. I fell in love with it.
First laugh at like 7 years old.
I was like addicted right then and there. I was like, you could get a laugh like that. So after that, I always was making jokes in class. I was getting myself in trouble. I didn't care. I was messing around. I was getting more sophisticated with the classroom humor. I didn't care. I enjoyed it. I got thrown out. I got sent out. I didn't care. I loved it. I loved it.
So
if I can make people laugh,
you got the comedy bug at like you got the comedy bug at like 7 years old when you made everyone laugh, but it was years later that you kind of like pursued it. You like kind of put it on the back burner, but you reconnected with Graz when Graz started a show called Limo Talk. And Limo Talk was actually started years ago. In what year did that Limo Talk actually?
We started that show. Grouse will say it's been on for 15 years, but when you do the math, it was 2011. So it's been almost 10 now. We started in January of 2011.
Okay,
So it's almost 10 years.
And you first started Limo Talk where? Where was the first?
On WGBB.
WGBB.
Which I think is like way up the AM dial. You go up the AM dial where, you know, you go into the hopelessness of 12, what is that? Well, I don't remember what this, 1240?
The number was?
You know, where the next turn of the knob breaks the knob off, you know?
You were on AM radio.
We were on AM radio on WGBB.
And you were there how long?
We were there a couple of years.
You were there a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. We had this guy, Trevor, was our producer. He was a preacher man. He had a show called The Preacher Man.
Uh-huh.
And he would sit in the other room, and Graz drove him freaking nuts. Drove the guy nuts.
No.
Yeah, because the guy's sitting there and he's playing the music. Graz would come in with the music he wanted to play. He wanted music playing throughout the entire show.
Right, because
so there was always music on.
The premise of Limo Talk, your show Limo Talk, is that it's a bunch of guys sitting in the back of a limo, and the music is supposed to be playing in the background.
Right, like the radio's on, like the stereo's on.
Yeah, you're having a conversation. It's a guy kind of conversation in the back of the limo.
So we'd be talking about nonsense, about nothing, just, you know, just BSing about anything we wanted to talk about. And all of a sudden he'd be like, yeah, so turn the music up, Trev. And Trevor would turn the music up. Then he'd go, turn the music down, Trev. Turn the music up, Trev. Turn the music down, Trev. And one day the guy finally goes, you know what, man? I fucking had it with you. I had it. Music up, music down, music up. You turn the goddamn music on.
Wow.
And we were all like this.
Bobby, what time slot were you in, and what day of the week was it?
Oh, my God. At first, we were on Monday night. So we were on against Monday Night Football. We go on Monday night at 9 o'clock. So we're asking people to tune in on a Monday night on the radio with the crackling sound of the you can't tune in the station. Right. Tune into us and don't watch the Monday Night Football game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that went over well.
And then from WGBB AM radio, you went.
Well, check this out. I used to go like this. We'd be on the air, and we had the number there. Yeah. And I'd go, and Grouse would go, the fifth caller, call in and answer our trivia question, and we'll give you tickets to a Met game. Phone would ring. I was like, Grouse, who the hell are you kidding? I was like, nobody's listening to us. I was like, do this. How about any caller, anybody who's listening, call now.
The first caller.
Nothing.
And then after AM radio, where did you guys move to?
We went to the Shark, 94.3.
The Shark, 94.3
FM.
So you went from AM to FM, moving on up like the Jeffersons.
We moved on out, really, what happened. We go to the studio. The studio was on Route 110 in, I forgot what town.
It's not Farmingdale?
I think it was Farmingdale. Of course, it had to be Farmingdale because Graz lives in Farmingdale with Rich Cirilli. Right. So they live both in Farmingdale, and everything's got to be about Farmingdale. But so I go there, and I had to run there in the middle of the afternoon. I'm working for the Board of Elections in Mineola, and I'm running over there, sneaking out to do a radio show in the middle of the afternoon.
What was your time slot there?
There wasn't a time slot. It's when we recorded. What they did was they recorded the show. Oh. We would do the show. That was the only time slot they could give us to record. Right. Then they would put us on, edited, on Sunday nights, not live. What they would do is do like a 2-minute segment of us talking. We'd say something hopefully funny. And after the punchline would come, they'd play a song.
Okay.
So it would be like, you say your line, you say whatever you came up with, and then all of a sudden, Pink Floyd comes on, and then for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you got another couple of songs, and then another segment of us.
So
that was on Sunday nights.
It was more like bits.
Right.
And like 5-minute segments. That's what it was.
Yeah. So whatever we were doing, like only about, we would sit there for 2 hours doing taping, and only about 25 minutes of what we did got on the air, and only about 5 minutes of what I did got on the air. So eventually I just said, Graz, it's just not worth it for me. So I stopped going. And then he stopped going, and that was the end of that until we went to go. Well, you know, to that place.
And that's where you've been for the last, it's going to be 5 years in March, and that's your big anniversary in March. And what I want people to know about you is that not only do you, first of all, you're friggin' hysterical on the show. You know, Grass says all the time, I'm not saying anything he hasn't said. Bobby makes the show. You do, because you're the comic on the show. You're the funny one on the show. You keep us laughing on the show. But what I love, and what everyone who listens loves, is when you do impersonations. And you do them very well. And Gilbert Godfrey is one of them. Can I get a little Gilbert tonight?
Yes, I'm right here. What do you want?
Hello, Gilbert.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm on Tea Time with Teresa.
Thank you.
This is an honor and a privilege. I love the way you look.
Oh, thank you, Gilbert. You're not so bad looking yourself. Thank you.
Yes, I am. Stop it.
Listen, give me a little Sammy Davis Jr.
Okay, babe. Hey, listen, babe. This is like unga chakung kakung kun chakung. We're on tea time, babe. We're gonna have some happy time with Sammy, babe. Okay?
Who's your favorite?
Hey, and I mean that. I mean that. You are the best, babe. You are the best, and I mean that.
Sam, listen, I love when you do impersonations, but when did you realize you can do them, and which one was the first one you ever did?
Okay, back in the days of the early Saturday Night Live, when that started, I used to like to imitate like George Carlin. Hey, you know, he did the first show, and they'd be like, hey, you know, San Diego Freeway was the scene of a freak accident when 6 freaks in a camper smashed into 12 freaks in a van, you know, stuff like that. I would do all those stupid lines. But then I started doing Rodney Dangerfield. So, like, I would walk into a bar imitating Rodney. And, like, I'd walk in and go, hey, I'll tell you, I'm having a great day. I'm having a bad day, a very bad day. He goes, you know, today I told my son about the birds and the bees. Wow, I'm losing my voice. Today I told my son about the birds and the bees. He told me about my wife and the butcher, you know? So I would do that, and I would stand at the bar at the Corking Board in Malvern,
right,
and I would do Rodney all night long. I had all his lines memorized.
Yeah.
And the people in the freaking place called me Rodney. Hey, Rodney's here.
Oh my God.
You know, and they'd be like, hey, do Rodney. I'm like, holy shit. Every night, Rodney.
How many?
I would do all that.
How many can you do? How many impersonations can you do? And
I have no idea.
Who else do you do? Or do you have a favorite? Do you have a fave?
No, I don't have a favorite. No, I really don't. I liked doing Rodney when I did it, but most people don't even know who he is anymore, which is sad. And you know, like I started out doing like Jimmy Carter back in the day because they were making fun of him on Saturday Night Live, so I started doing my Jimmy Carter.
Right.
You know, people are like, huh? My name is Jimmy Carter, running for president. You know, stuff like that. I love doing Bill Clinton.
Oh, wow.
I did not have sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I did not. You know, Hill and I were, you know, you know, it was just like I would do him. I would do, you know, Bob Dole, you know, stuff like that. And I just kept doing it. I don't have a favorite.
But it seems that it comes very easy to you.
There isn't a person out there that when I talk about what they said to me, that I don't try to imitate their voice. There's some that I can't do.
Right.
Like there's some that I just can't do.
Right. Well,
and I give up after a while.
Yeah. Well, you do a pretty good Trump, I have to tell you.
All right. Trump was fun to do, you know. But you know what's funny is like you're sitting there and you're doing an impression, and then you want to switch gears to do something else, and I sit there going, well, what is he? I'm thinking to myself, what does he sound like? What does Trump even? I got to think about it, and then I got to do it like off to the side, like here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey,
The election was rigged. The election was rigged. I won. I'm the winner. Beautiful things, beautiful people, great things, great country. You know, stuff like that. You sit there, you got to do that to yourself for a minute until you get the voice right. And then you got to do it. So that's why Graz drives me nuts, because he goes, Mr. President. And I'm like, oh, no.
Right. So right away, you have to switch into it. Right.
I'm like, I can't right now.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's something that really is a craft when you think about it. I mean, not everyone can imitate or impersonate somebody. It's not easy to do. It really isn't. But it's a lot of repetition and listening and listening and listening and listening and listening. And
he used to go, like my mother would go, you have a very good ear. You have a good ear. I have a good ear. But like I used to sit around, I used to do Vince Scully, and I started doing this on the Limo Talk show. The whole thing. Happy birthday, Dwight Gooden, by the way.
Yes.
And,
did I not mention? I did.
You did. But we're bringing up the '86
Okay,
Mets.
good. Yes, happy birthday.
Oh, and by the way, there was no greater time, and I was a young guy. I'm a little older than Doc. I'm like 2 years older than Doc. So there was no greater time that I enjoyed watching Met baseball besides Keith Hernandez and Tom Seaver. Watching Dwight Gooden pitch at Shea Stadium on a Friday night was the greatest thing in the world. I was there when he threw a one-hitter against the Cubs, and the only ball that he was called a hit was a slow roller down the third baseline that Ray Knight could have charged a little harder, and he would have had a no-hitter. I think he struck out like 16 guys that night. It was amazing. And he'd pitch a complete game. But what I used to do back in the '86 Mets days was the imitation of Vince Scully doing the Bill Buckner. Roller up the first baseline. Behind the bag. It gets by Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it. And I would do that.
Great. And talking about Keith Hernandez, because you mentioned Keith Hernandez, some people have told you in the past that you look a little like Keith Hernandez. And I also saw a comparison picture of you with John Stossel.
Well, John Stossel, you know what? Keith Hernandez himself brought this up. Like he said, Keith Hernandez says when anybody draws him, he says the picture always comes out looking like John Stossel. So I brought that up one night on the show, and Taz was the one who came up with the comparison picture. She put up Taz, the resident artist.
Yes.
She put up the picture of me next to John Stossel, and but Keith Hernandez got traded to the Mets in 1983.
Yeah.
And it was right then and there that, I was starting. I never thought about it before.
Yeah.
Somebody came up to me and goes, you look like Keith Hernandez.
I see.
I'm like, all right.
I can see it a little bit. I can see it. Listen, Bobby, we only have a minute left. That's how fast my show goes. I love you with all my heart. You can come back anytime you want, but I just want people to be able to follow you and know what you're doing. I know you're on Facebook. Bobby's on Facebook under Bobby Inzarello on Facebook. And right now, none of us are doing too much because of COVID, unfortunately. You did join Kristen Tinsley and I last night at Coasters.
Yes, had a laugh. Good laugh.
We had a blast, didn't we? We had a good time. We had a good time. But listen, I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Please like it. Please share it. Please vote for Tea Time. And Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time out for doing my show. And you're invited anytime you want back.
Well, when I'm on Limo Talk on another network,
yes,
I always try to mention Tea Time with Teresa on another network.
Okay.
So we're gonna bring you up on Thursday, and then we're gonna keep sharing.
The Limo Talk is Thursday nights. What time?
Thursday nights from 9:45 in our punishment time, 9:45 to 11, whatever. And
it's on Gotham.
I'll even say hello to Carla.
It's on Gotham Gold, right? It's on Gotham Gold. And
Gotham Gold Graz.
Right. Okay.
It's also, you can also pick it up on ins41.com.
Okay, that's good to know.
GothamGoldGraz.com.
Right.
And Facebook.
And GoGo's.com.
No! The other network.
I love you. And I'm so glad you did this. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Bobby, stay right there. Everyone have a great night, a great week. Wash your hands, wear your masks. I'll see you next Monday. Ciao.
Thank you, Teresa.